Saiyan MGTOW here with over 9,000 opinions. Welcome to the video. Typical differences in behavior of males and females. Long intro incoming. Generalizations are useful because they allow you to better navigate situations. I repeat, generalizations are useful because they allow you to better navigate situations. For instance, if you know you are walking through a poorer neighborhood, you should be a little more wary about getting jumped. Does this mean every poor neighborhood has a high crime rate? No. Generalizations should not cause you to necessarily assume the worst in someone or something or somewhere just because the situation fits the profile. It should not necessarily affect how you treat the situation. Because of course generalizations do not describe every member of a group, or whatever percentage of the group that you heard or believe is this way or that way. But they are useful because you don't want to be caught completely off guard. So this doesn't mean you should bully someone with a label or because their group is known to very possibly act a certain way. Especially if the generalization is flimsy or not important, like a lot of African descendant people can't swim or it's harder for them to swim. I'm not here to make a video about generalizations about bone density or economic or family or cultural situations in regards to a flimsy generalization like that African descendant people can't swim well, because I don't believe that there is very much of a variation between races on swimming ability. And even if I did believe that, I don't think it's an important enough generalization to make a YouTube video on. I don't know how or why you would want to use this generalization to your future advantage. Understanding behaviors that separate typical males and females will allow you to explain and possibly prevent some important events you are likely to witness in your future, in my opinion. Most of this video might be obvious to many people, but for some reason it seems that many women would not agree with any typical negative female behaviors, and I find that rather stupefying, and I think this video needs to exist. So I'll start with males, and I'll start with positive behaviors. And keep in mind, all of this is just my amazing opinion. I don't have footnotes with Harvard studies to support this. But you can feel free to disagree with anything in this video in the comment section below. Males are typically better at reducing emotional thinking, and instead thinking objectively, like shooting a deer in the head and gutting it and slicing it up into steaks is not more cruel than buying a 10-piece chicken tenders. Males are typically better at innovating or inventing. We go off and do our own thing and want to explore new areas more than women do, I think. We seem to be more willing to be weird outcasts and trust our own guts. Males are typically more likely to sacrifice their lives for something. I know about this Indian guy who spent 22 years of his life carving through a mountainside with a hammer and a chisel so that the commute to the next closest town or whatever was cut from 55 kilometers to 15 kilometers. He did not see this as a waste. Or like all those guys since time immortal who were willing to go into battle and maybe get their head cut in half or get a nasty infection, etc. It just seems to me, anyway, that men are more willing to die for stuff, and that can be an epically positive trait. Males are typically more honest to your face about things. Males are typically more problem-solving oriented. Get to the point, get to the solution, move on. Next, let's talk about the typical negative male behaviors. And I hope you'll notice that the positive traits usually have a negative echo, like the Force. There are two sides to power. Also later on, you might notice the male and female behaviors are echoes of each other as well. Here we go. Males are typically more aggressive in any situation. Aggressive, ready or likely to attack or confront. Going along with this, we are more careless or dangerous in regards to our safety. Males are typically less empathetical to other people. We aren't as sensitive about gutting a deer in front of a small child and how that might be terrifying to them. We are also typically more harsh to your face. Males are typically less concerned about if we are welcomed into a group, / are more likely to selfishly screw over the group for personal gain or just for fun. We are more willing to push the buttons of a group and not conform. Males are typically quick to solve the problem, like they might do first aid real quick and correctly. But we don't think as much about preventing the problem from happening next time. Like that we shouldn't do that super dangerous thing, or we shouldn't weed whack without eye protection again. We might just tough it out next time, basically. It's kind of a mix between stubborn and optimistic. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Typical negative female behaviors. Females are typically more deceptive / untrue to your face about things. Females typically struggle with removing emotion from their thought process and decision making. Females typically go along with the group more blindly / less critically. They are typically more afraid to shake things up and challenge the status because they care more about how everyone in the group feels. Females love drama, don't get me wrong. But the kind of drama they feed off is under the table, behind your back, under their breath type of stuff. It doesn't rock the boat very much, but it can still poison the wood below. Females are typically not adept at quickly finding the problem, coming up with a direct solution, implementing the solution, and then moving on. They typically let themselves get emotionally bogged down with what caused the problem. How could someone be so insensitive? This is going to mess up this or that I had planned, etc. Okay, so the turkey got burnt on Thanksgiving. Like really, really burnt up. So the male figure is like, okay, let's order Chinese food, or I'll go to the store and buy some pre-cooked turkey and we can heat it up, etc. Problem equals need food. Solution equals get more food. However, the female figure is flooded with thoughts about what went wrong. Was it the oven? Was it in too long? Is the oven broken, or was it the wrong temp? Who was supposed to be watching the turkey? Maybe we can salvage a little bit of the turkey, or even if we can't do that, we should at least put the burnt turkey on the table because it's kind of funny and it feels right for the holiday. Oh no, what is Aunt Liz gonna think when she hears about this burnt turkey? Does Aunt Liz like Chinese food? Etc. Problem equals a whole lot of shit. Solution equals a whole lot of shit. Yes, women can solve problems, but it takes a while and they typically struggle to find the problem's core issue. Okay, let's get to the final topic, and then at the very end I will talk about hypergamy and cheating. But first, female typical positive behavior. Females care more about group cohesion. They better recognize the power of numbers. Females typically have a better way of breaking news to people or wording things in such a way to maybe bend the truth but keep you feeling better. Like if a child is crying because they learned that Santa Claus isn't real and their parents are effing liars in this instance, I bet the mother would know what to say better than the father so that the child calms down. Or if a family friend dies or something. Women do not provide better wording content-wise necessarily, but they do provide better wording in how it makes you feel, typically. Women are typically more interested at better at detecting the sources of problems. They like to roll around in the problem and feel how it makes them feel, and then they look to prevent the problem from happening next time. In the burnt turkey example, the female figure pointed out many problems from just one source, and I bet her and Aunt Liz will be thinking about it for weeks, furthering the chance that it won't happen again. Females are typically more likely to sacrifice their dreams for others. I'm not saying no woman has ever done something awesome like carve out an entire mountainside. I'm just saying that most women who have crazy dreams like that, they typically choose to take care of others like their family or friends instead. Now, I'm also not saying that no women are completely selfish, because of course some are. But I'm saying kind of what I've said before, which is that women